Hello, I'm RetroJules. This is my Tier 10 Centurion Action X British Medium. Before update 4.7, I'd quite happily retired from my light tanking playing this year to concentrate on my British tanks and to get my British Tier 10s. Now let me set the scene for you. You've had a good evening. You've had the few usual crappy games of tanks that perhaps you might normally have when you start, and then over the period of the evening you're concentrating, you've sharpened up a bit, you've got your eye in, your aim's not bad, you're watching the mini-map and reacting to it, and generally having quite a good time. And this game was sort of one of those last few games where I'd had a good evening of tanking, built up my confidence and thought, do you know what? I think tonight is going to be a good night of tanking. I am going to be ready to activate my ×3 XP multipliers and really bring in the XP. So this is quite a bit of a weird matchmaking game. The enemy are very campy. They're all going to be camped up probably around H7 and all at the back of the map because half their team are triangles and squares. And also there are 3 squares either side and it's a very open map. There is nowhere to hide really on this map from Arty unless you're really lucky to get on the back of a slope. So in my mind I'm constantly cautious of trying not to stay in the same place, knowing that if Arty get a sniff of me, it could be game over very quickly. Luckily, none of them are working as platoons, because that is just murder. So I've pushed right through the middle, because I am so convinced that the enemy are camping, and there's 2 of them right at the back. Quite a few of their team have gone down the east flank. We've pushed on the west flank, and ooh, what are you up to? I'm not following you into the dragon's den, mate. And I'm glad it's not just me that can't drive in a panic. There was no way I was following that 251 to the spawn with the tank destroyers at the back, and there they are, and not then knowing where Arty was. This ends up being, I quite enjoyed this game because it was a little bit risky gameplay. I mean, if anything pushed me, I was in trouble. I've got nobody shooting over my shoulder. We've got no tank destroyers at the back because we don't have any tank destroyers. We are a highly mobile team compared to them. And if anything pushes me, I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble. Now I spot the light tank coming through the middle and take that out on the move too. It would appear that I've gone from playing light tanks to murdering them instead, which suits me just fine. And 4 minutes into the game, half the team spotted, couple of tank kills and 7 damage ribbons. Not bad at all. And if I can keep this going and keep alive, I was hoping to bring in the assisted damage, but of course, like I said, there was sort of nobody in my vicinity to shoot over my shoulder. Everybody was out on the east and west flank, and I'd chosen the middle. I don't roll the Centurion out that much. I must admit I have been concentrating more to getting the Chieftain and the Super Conqueror. But I do enjoy the mobility of the Centurion and the fact that it does let me auto aim and generally get away with it. But there's an E4 just at the back there on the right hand side, And I don't know how many times I auto-aimed that. And looking back at this gameplay, I have absolutely no idea why I did it. It is, you know, one of the tanks you just don't auto-aim on. You've really got to pick the weak spots, or realise that you're not going to... realise you're not going to get a penetrating shot, and just get out the way and try and sneak up on it from a different angle. Which is kind of what we're doing here. We've absolutely annihilated the enemy. Oh no, you see, now I'm out in the open. Yeah, I was always going to take a hit being out there. These two have got the right idea. Come in from behind. So I think we'll sneak up over the top, help them out, and hopefully get a chance to take RT out too. A shot in and a ram. Oh, we don't get the kill. One dirty red square left, cowering at the back of the map, probably hoping to shotgun somebody before it dies. And it gets a shot on the light tank on the move. Pretty impressive. And it's going to get finished off. And we win. What was quite a risky bit of gameplay with not a lot of backup and a dreadful amount of auto-aiming. But if it works, it works, and it did in most instances. We come out with a very decent 36,000 silver, 4,800 XP, and 3,500 damage with a second class mastery badge. A good result. A result that made me think, I am ready to activate my ×3 bonuses that I have. And what can possibly go wrong? No, not the ×2 retro. Let's go for the ×3 and let's bring in some XP. So the ×3 XP multiplier is applied. Guaranteed that everything is now going to go downhill. I'm either going to start playing a bit YOLO-y because I've completely forgotten that I've applied my XP multiplier, and really that shouldn't make any difference. I just shouldn't play YOLO-y. I should just concentrate on the game as you normally would. But the other thing that happens is you might be doing all the right things, or what you think are the right things, and playing sensibly, and meanwhile your team just fall apart around you, and that multiplier you applied just goes to waste as it's applied to a really crap game where your team lost and you got less XP than you normally would. This, my friends, is the curse of the XP multiplier. I'm in my tier 9 British Conqueror. Decide to play the riverbed. Try to keep it hull down. And there's 4 of us in the riverbed with a TD looking over our shoulder. This should be a good place to push forward. But that T-54E1 took a shot from way out yonder. So I'm absolutely going to stay down here. Death Star above. Nice shot in the tracks. And unfortunately, we don't get any assisted for that. So we've got 2 TDs upright. Need to be wary they don't roll down, just waiting for everybody to catch up. And we now have 4 tanks, 2 heavies, 2 mediums and a TD coming up behind. We are quite strong through the middle and have the potential to stay out of trouble. But I am slightly concerned about the T-30 just up to my left there, because if that tank does peer over, I've got nowhere to hide. And I even try reversing back a bit just to sort of try and get behind a ridge for when it does, because it is going to peer over, and it does. Unfortunately, it's not looking at me, but it takes one of our tanks out, and we are currently 3 tanks down already. Oh, I can get a nice shot. Oh, just missed the viewport on the Foch. That's a shame. I'm really concerned about that T30. So the trouble is, if I then go this side, then the Foch can get a shot on me. Between a rock and a hard place here, and this was some of the frustration I found with heavy tanks, is you get yourself in a situation that you think, this didn't go to plan, and you can't really escape. Oh, the T30 missed a shot. It's just me and a TD now. We've gone down from 5 tanks down to 2. Down in this riverbed. This is not good. 3 tanks down as a team. Oh, Artie's bringing it in. Nice. I'd be really grateful, Artie, if you could take that T30 out. It's a big threat to me. But I've managed to pull back on full health and actually got myself out of that situation, which I didn't think was going to happen. And the T30's taken out. Excellent shot. And oh, an E100's pushed, and I don't seem to have any backup whatsoever. Nobody is looking this way. What do I do? Well, I can try and use a little bit of manoeuvrability I've got, but I'm not going to outmaneuver an E100 down here. This is not going to go well. I have a bad feeling about this. This is a tank I did not want to face at this stage in the game. Really? I'd rather face one of these. Oh, fluff my shot and... Oh. Dead. Well, we did have the potential to push through that lot. Artie really helped by taking that T30 out. And then just watched the team as it completely fell apart. And that game could have gone either way. There's no blame. It's just one of those things. But it's just one of those things that had to happen when I'd put a ×3 XP multiplier on the game. 2,600 XP normally would be okay, but not with a ×3. How do we do overall? I came 4th. So the question is, can it possibly get any worse? Well, of course it can, because then you activate a ×5 multiplier. And just when you think the games couldn't get any worse, your team just completely fall apart yet again. And just to do the maths for you, 5 times bugger all is still pretty much bugger all as far as XP is concerned in a game. I will leave you with this gameplay because it pretty much speaks for itself. Keep safe, keep tanking, and good luck applying your XP boosts.